All right, everyone. Congratulations to the people of Argentina. Javier Milei has been an unmitigated success. Fuera! Yes, indeed. He cut a bunch of government agencies and a bunch of government workers. And now Argentina is running a surplus for the first time in over 100 years. This is not just a mild success. This is a major success. Now, it has come with some growing pains for the nation of Argentina. People have talked about it, leftoids mainly, complaining about the cost of goods and things like that. If you don't bring inflation under control and try to stabilize the economy first, everything else is obviously going to be a failure. The fact is, Argentina currently is in a position, and it's not certain whether it will happen, but we're hoping that it does because of, the Argentinians are our friends here in the United States. We're hoping for the best for you. If you go through those growing pains, through the pains of, cutting bureaucracy and so forth, then you can get to the rest of business. But you have to do that first. It does mean that there are going to be people that are unemployed. It does mean that there are going to be people that are not going to be able to make their payroll and so forth. But if you go through that transitory stage, which is painful, and the socialists design it to be painful, there's a reason for this. And Milei knows this. I'll get to that in a second. Once you do go through that, then you can make things better. Milei is not stupid. He knows what the fuck he's doing. There's going to be a period of time, multiple years by the way, where people will suffer. But in the end, those people will suffer a hell of a lot less than they did under socialism. That's the way that the game works. What socialists will do is they'll infiltrate your country, and they'll design things so that if you try to wean yourself off of the socialism, it's sort of like alcoholism, I suppose. If you try to wean yourself off the socialism, things are made intentionally unfortunate for you. They're made intentionally painful. What you do is you get the population hooked on crack. And then when they stop using the crack, they're puking everywhere, and they've got the shakes, and they're curled up on the floor and shit like that. Socialism is basically like a goddamn drug dealer when you think about it. Milei understands this, or appears to understand it. And so he's doing the fuera thing and cutting government agencies, putting tens of thousands of people out of work, by the way, in the process. But in the end, Argentina can be improved. Argentina was one of the world's foremost economies. It was the gem of South America there for decades and decades, but then it fell into socialism, and all of a sudden everything started to go to shit. I wonder why. You've got a huge proportion of arable land. You've got mineral resources. You've got basically a cowboy culture, which is hysterical for beef production and things like that. You've got every advantage in the world. You've got a large land area, a large population, again, a mixed climate. So you go down to the south of Argentina, you've got almost subpolar climate. You go to the far north of Argentina, you're basically in the goddamn Amazon. You have every goddamn possibility to make Argentina great again, but you've had failed leadership for over 100 years. Javier Milei represents the first person in Argentine history and living memory that is actually trying to do a good job. Other individuals will simply be authoritarian, dictatorial. They'll give you some welfare crumbs to keep you happy, but ultimately all of the power, all of the wealth goes to the top. This is the problem of socialism. Socialism promises that the little people, the plebeians like us, the little people at the bottom of the barrel will get by, basically. But people don't want to just get by, now do they? They want to thrive. Under socialism, you will have bread on the table, but it's going to be shitty government-subsidized bread. You're going to be eating Wonder Bread or something like that. Under capitalism, which is what Milei appears to imbibe, generally speaking, you have the possibility of getting really good bread on your table. There's the possibility that there's no bread. You can subsidize and try to help those people at the bottom, but you're trying to uplift them. What you're trying to do is make a more wealthy, more potent society, making a country literally great again. Milei appears to understand this, and he appears to have been generally successful number two. So congratulations to him as well. And it was funny when he was hamming it up with Donald Trump there. Yeah, he was one of the first world dignitaries that met with Trump at all. This was before he was even elected. He's like, President! And for a moment, and Javier Milei is probably the only person charismatic enough to pull this off. For a moment, Donald Trump looked nonplussed, like he didn't understand what the hell was going on. Because, the Argentinian president comes in and says, President, and hugs him, and he's like trying to shake his hand very vigorously and stuff like that. And he's the only person who, at least as far as I can recall, managed to make Donald Trump seemingly a little bit out of his league at a moment. So, yeah, Argentina, you've got one hell of a fucking leader. I need to get my ass down there at some point. You best believe I'm going to be eating at a steakhouse. Argentina's pretty based, actually, when you think about it. It's like, it used to be that Chile was based, and Argentina was like, that was the socialist side. And Chile was run by people that were more capitalistic, and so, it generally did better. And they have a lot of resources too, by the way. But then Chile inexplicably decided to vote, I have a feeling that election wasn't 100%, for socialism, where Argentina went in the opposite direction, said, no, this bullshit doesn't work, and then they elect Javier Milei. And I was hoping for his election, because I wish the best for everyone in the world. And so far, you don't have, your national debt is literally decreasing at the moment. That's a big accomplishment. That's something that even the Trump administration's probably not going to accomplish, just to be clear. But when you have that level of inflation, that level of debt, the debt to GDP ratio, you have to do something about it. It's going to be painful. It's going to take multiple years. I don't know under Argentinian political law whether Javier Milei can even run again. I know I would be voting. If I was an Argentinian, I would fucking vote for him in a heartbeat. He's managed to decrease the national debt. If I remember correctly, it was exactly 123 years between when that happened before and when it's happening now. So it's not even in living memory. Nobody is alive today who saw an Argentinian economy that was as good as it is under Javier Milei. That's quite a goddamn accomplishment. Just saying. So yeah, I'm going to get my ass down to Argentina at some point. And I got a passport for a reason. I've got some countries on my bucket list. Argentina is one of them. Seems to be a beautiful country with a lot of cool people in it. And apparently quite a few clankers, actually. So yeah, I'm going to go down there, have a little meet and greet in Buenos Aires or something like that. Or actually a little bit further south. There's an area further south that's very, very beautiful. I've seen pictures of it, but I can't remember the name of it. I'm going to have to get my ass down to Argentina, apparently. Eat some fucking steak. That's about all. Peace out.